Hello, YouTubers out there. This is Jerry Saravia at the movies. So I'm briefly going to talk about something that I was thinking about for the last couple weeks, and I think I should mention it because it's a nostalgic reminder. Um, During the 1980s, I was a big fan of Eddie Murphy. Um, I haven't seen all of Eddie Murphy's movies since past, I guess, the 1996, 97 mark. Um, Not that I fell out of favor, but it wasn't quite as special, I think. Although he's made a couple of good films here and there. Um, and this year, he's returning in Beverly Hills Cop, which is being made and distributed by Netflix. It's called Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley. Um, and I do like Beverly Hills Cop. The first two films, the third one I really don't care for at all. Although it does have a couple of funny moments, as you would often find really in most Eddie Murphy movies. There's at least a singularly good moment here and there. I want to talk about Beverly Hills Cop 2. Now, I'd seen most of Eddie Murphy's movies in theaters with the exception of, I'm trying to think, through the 80s I saw all of his films except for Best Defense, which doesn't count really as an Eddie Murphy vehicle. Dudley Moore's in that one. But all the 80s films, well, you know what? I didn't see 48 Hours or Trading Places in theaters. But Beverly Hills Cop was my first major, uh, or the first major film I'd seen him in, which of course was his first major leading role. So, but I saw Beverly Hills Cop 2, first day it opened, I think it was Memorial Day weekend of 1987. And it was a full house, very full house. And the film starts with all of this gunfire. It's a bank robbery, or not a bank robbery, a robbery of a jewelry store. And there you see Bridget Nielsen firing a gun, all this. And then it segues almost immediately to Detroit. And there we see Axel Foley's putting on this, looks like an Armani suit. You don't know what the hell this is all about. And every moment of that movie with Eddie Murphy got major laughter from the audience. It was almost as if you were attending a concert. And I have to say, in all the years I've seen films in theaters, there have only been a handful of films that really felt like you were attending a concert, that everybody was sort of into it in a way that for a film that where either the director was the star, like Quentin Tarantino, for example. Pulp Fiction is a good example of an audience film, but really like a live concert. I mean, not just an audience picture where everybody kind of responds in almost the same way to every little moment, in the movie. It's that was different. It was almost like that felt like being at a live concert. But Beverly Hills Cop 2 was the clearest indication to me of what it must have felt like to see any movies by Elvis Presley in theaters back in the day. Because that's what it was. It was just like every moment inspired a recognition of this major superstar, which Eddie Murphy certainly was. 1987 was the year that Eddie Murphy became a major superstar. I mean, major. And he certainly was one of the biggest box office stars of the 1980s. No question about it. And Beverly Hills Cop really, I think, jumped him into the mainstream in a major way. But the second cop film, I think, it just proved it. It kind of cemented it. And obviously, this superstar status didn't last forever. But everybody knows who is Eddie Murphy. So even to this day. So, but that was the clearest indication. Just like every moment that Eddie Murphy was on, even if it wasn't necessarily a very funny moment, it inspired laughter, recognition, a guffaw, whatever you want to call it, from the audience. It was, kind of like, because the sequel is virtually a repeat with the most minor trivial exceptions of the original Beverly Hills Cop. So in that way, it really did fit as a concert film because it was a repeat of the beats that they remembered from the first movie. And they laughed, they were into it. I remember a few people, as I left that theater, saying that was a great movie. And it just turned it up to 11, or dialed it up to 11, the gunplay. As one critic said, Eddie Murphy shoots bullets more than jokes, and that is kind of true. I mean, I like the movie, but it doesn't even hold a candle to the original Beverly Hills Cop. But it has a certain kind of energy, for sure. Beverly Hills Cop 2 has that. It was directed by Tony Scott. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that because I don't know of too many movies where the star, as in the superstar, as actor, inspired such, at least from my theatrical experiences, inspired that same kind of recognition. It's hard to really talk about other than if it was like a real rock star and everybody is just, clawing at them. That's kind of what Beverly Hills Cop 2 was. Only Eddie Murphy, it was a film. It wasn't Eddie Murphy on stage. So I can only imagine Eddie Murphy raw when he performed at, I can't remember where he performed. Did he perform at Madison Square Garden? I think he did, for the concert film Raw, which was directed by Robert Townsend. And for the people that actually went to see that, must have been really something. So I just wanted to share that. Beverly Hills Cop 2 was the closest to an Elvis Presley movie that I've seen in a movie theater. And I can only imagine how people reacted. Not to mention, of course, not just one superstar, but if you talk about the Beatles, I know one person who saw A Hard Day's Night in theaters back in 1964, and she couldn't hear one word of what was being said or sung in that movie because everybody was just screaming, a bunch of screaming young girls. So I thought I'd share that. And let me your thoughts on Eddie Murphy and Beverly Hills Cop 2 if you've seen it. And if you've ever had that experience of seeing a movie in a theater where somebody is treated like if they are a rock superstar, the leading actor of a movie. And it doesn't even matter if the movie is really good or not. The experience of it somehow is just that everything they do is fantastic type of feeling. Like seeing a rock star on stage. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Lend me yours. I don't know what I'm going to be reviewing next. So I have really nothing else to share yet. So I don't want to say I'm previewing what's coming up because I don't know yet. Anyway, I will be back soon enough. And those are my thoughts. Please lend me yours. And if you like this channel, please subscribe. And this is Jerry Saravia at the Movies, signing off.